Hey guys, welcome back to Cyber Unfiltered. We got Bob, we got Chris, and Matt.
We got our names right. We're off to a great start.
And I didn't even attempt to remember where everyone lives.
This is a low bar for the week. Oh man.
Anyway, we got a couple things that we were talking about in the green room, and I think I want to kick it off and let's talk about some of this PowerSchool stuff that happened. You know, we talked a while ago about it, but there's some breaking news. So apparently, they caught one of the people that one of the teenagers that actually started the whole thing.
But tell them how, because I can't wait.
So let me back. Well, let's back up. You know, he did the PowerSchool breach did affect like 55 million student and teacher records across the U.S. And this kid used passwords that were sitting out in the internet and was able to get into PowerSchool and wreak havoc, get a ransom. And PowerSchool, because it wasn't actually an encryption event, it was just they just extracted the data and ransomed it. Mm-hmm. But they had to pay it in Bitcoin. So
do you see how much money he got?
Yeah, it was 300 million. 3 million?
2.85 million.
$2.85 million in Bitcoin. Now, everyone thinks Bitcoin's totally anonymous. Well, in this case, it was totally anonymous until he decided to buy himself some new sneakers and dress clothes and use Bitcoin to pay for it.
Well, no, just that, the same Bitcoin wallet.
The same wallet.
Like you always see these, shows about how they have to clean the money after selling drugs and things like that. I mean, basically, this was completely traceable. If you use that wallet that had the stolen money in it to pay for anything and physically show up, like it's like carrying around a sign saying, "I'm the hacker that hacked PowerSchool."
Yeah. So this kid didn't realize, I guess, that a lot of stores record the transactions both from the register and video of what's going on, and the agencies were able to put his Bitcoin wallet to a person, and the rest is history. I guess they probably found him on Facebook.
Great.
I mean, anybody knows you should use a crypto mixer to get around this. But you know what? It's basically where you just.
I know, but you said anyone should know. Most of our folks.
I mean, if you're going in and you're going to commit a felony, and you're going to use a wallet and you're going to get a bunch of money, you think that you do a little bit more research on how to.
Use that wallet appropriately.
Is if you're going to do something highly illegal, do it properly.
Yeah, I mean,
the article did talk about him having some friends using services or friends in the Ukraine, but they haven't caught them yet. But maybe those people would have been a little smarter than this kid.
Well, I think at the end, this one doesn't look as sophisticated as you would think, because it was really just coming across something that never should have been out there. Bad cyber hygiene by PowerSchool, and it's being found by some kid that's not as smart as we all thought he was at first. So,
well, I mean, they were smart enough to be able to leverage just one simple login to get to all of the PowerSchool instances and start extracting data. So he wasn't a complete idiot. Obviously, he probably used maybe some Russian people from a hacking firm or something like that to help him automate that part.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he paid them a portion of that 2.85 million in Bitcoin. But
and a pair of Reeboks each.
So they got him in court. He pled guilty already to it, and now it's I think it was September 11th is when they're actually going to sentence him. And his plea deal said something about no less than 7 years.
I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if you really want to make a example, like he should get longer than that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, ethically, it was not a good decision, regardless of anything else. So
one of the weird parts right now is he was released to mom.
To mom?
To mom. Mom's watching him until September 11th.
Honestly, he might get a bigger beating from her than he would in jail. So
well, he probably had to put something. She probably had to put something up for that too, right?
Yeah, I'm sure there was
his bond involved. Probably their house is involved, I would guess.
Yeah, probably.
It had to be a big one.
Anyway, what else is going on, guys?
Well, I had a lovely fail this morning. So I have a firewall at the house. I leveraged something.
Hope so.
Well, more than typical person, right? So custom built, everything like that. Well, I go to reboot it because I couldn't get in the web interface this morning. And yeah, it just didn't come back up. So the drive was failing. Now, my wife works from home. Do I have a contingency plan for the firewall going down? Kind of, but not really. I have a T-Mobile connection that I can use, and that's what she worked on all day while I had to go fix that today. So that's why I'm at home right now. I was able to resolve it and do it. But yeah, if you are married and your spouse works from home, you better have a good disaster recovery and business continuity plan.
Yep, been there, done that.
Because if you don't, it's not going to be a pretty day. So
my favorite is when kids are home and there's no internet for any reason. Yeah, that's also easy.
That's different than your spouse having to work.
Says the guy without kids. Try both. It's like a war zone.
Well,
bottom line is, yeah, have a plan. I think we all say that.
Yeah, have a plan. Execute plan. I was scrambling this morning, so we're good.
Just tell her you got hacked and it's real important and you can't control it.
She's not that gullible. She listens to me talk all the time, unfortunately. But yeah, so I need to simplify that. So that was a fun experience this morning. So,
but you're back together. She's working good, so that's all that matters.
She worked all day, so there's. I don't know if you guys don't really do much with Citrix, but I do. I have a big history with it. But Citrix Bleed 2 came out in the last that's 3 weeks, but I think it was 3 weeks ago they published it. It's pretty bad. If you have a NetScaler,
this is what it is. One was how long ago? Like a
year ago. No, it was a year ago.
Okay, I feel like it wasn't that long ago. We were talking about the first one,
and it's been used by a bunch of hackers. So NetScaler is basically Citrix's version of an edge device that you can get in and you connect to Citrix services. So you can launch applications. If you work in enterprise, if you work in enterprise, and there's other things you can do with it. You can load balance websites. You can do stuff like that. It's a load balancer. So, but it has a gateway function. The problem is it sits on the edge. So when they have like a situation like this where there's like a vulnerability that can just bypass any security and get into the device, that's not good. And they had that last year, and now they have it this year again. And this has been used by hackers a lot over the last year for people who didn't patch them. Been used to get into a ton of corporations and small businesses.
I'm not a big Citrix guy, but like in layman's terms, would this statement be right? Like the purpose of it is to basically secure things behind it and services behind it.
Yep.
So it's like the first line of defense. So when it's got some bad code or something that someone can do something with, they just basically it's supposed to do a thing that doesn't do that thing anymore.
Yeah, it sits behind the firewall, but you're opening up ports from the firewall. So
it's like the most exposed piece of the Citrix infrastructure.
Right. It protects everything behind it. Here's the problem. Most people also sync their Active Directory users to it. Well, at least they don't sync it to it. They tie it to a domain controller so that you can authenticate with your Active Directory
so suddenly more
user and password. Right. So anybody out there, if you have a small business, we're kind of moving authentication a little different now, but like there's a server that sits in your office. You probably log in to the server. You log in your computer, it communicates to the server, lets you log in. Same deal with Citrix. However, if they get access to that, they can now use that to get into the company in a very easy way. So, yeah, it's
kind of the thing that manages access.
Yeah, Ransom Hub, ransomware group last year was really using it. I mean, I think they got into more than 300 companies doing it. So it's crazy. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's pretty bad.
I had one. How many people treat their NetScaler as a set it and forget it like a firewall?
Oh, dude, if you're in a big corporation, if you have a pair of NetScalers, so a lot of times you run them in high availability, so that like if one dies or something, or you have to patch and reboot it, then the other one can take over. I used to work at a company where they would do that. The amount of change control and how long it would take them to approve you to update it was insane because it affected so many things, especially when you were load balancing like websites behind it. Because if that failed and you took it down, you took down access to the websites. So yeah, it's pretty bad. And it's also kind of a pain.
Yeah.
But
so in that case, you can't just click a button that says patch and know everything's going to work. There needs to be testing and verification and processes followed.
And you got to make sure that you have contingency plans. So change control, which a lot of small businesses don't do change control, but when you get into the enterprise, like, you have to have a backup plan. You have to have a whole plan on what's going to go down, what's going to change, who's going to be affected by the change, and have a backup plan.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's a good time. No.
This is an emergency change, so that means you got to get forced to the beginning and or to the front of the line, and then try to convince people that this is a good idea, and then really hope that, especially if you don't have a lab, that it goes right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and they pay for support. So, yep, it's pretty bad. There's going to be companies out there that get hacked because of this because they probably didn't patch it. I had one customer who didn't pay for support. They're supposed to be Office Citrix. And as soon as that came out, I basically killed it from the internet, and they forced them to go in another way. I told them, like, look, this is too much of a risk to the company, and we got to take this down. So they were cool with it. They were cool with it. Yeah, I mean, when you tell somebody that your business could be, because these hackers are just scanning the internet looking for this stuff, so it's pretty easy to find. But anyway.
I was curious. I just did a little Google News search and typed Citrix Bleed, and the first news article was attackers now scanning extensively for Citrix Bleed too. So I imagine people were just looking for open doors at this point to see what
they're just looking for. They're looking for NetScalers, and they're looking for specific NetScalers that have a firmware version that is, that's exposed. So good times.
Yeah. I think we use good times to deflect the seriousness of this pretty often, because what else are you going to do? It's not good times. But I always say good times. Good times because I don't have Citrix out there anymore.
Well, I also say fun a lot when it's really not supposed to be fun. So
that was fun.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Well,
I think that's how security and IT folks function through stress, though. There has to be a healthy level of sarcasm.
We'll be fine. Everything's fine. Yeah.
Everything's fine. Where's the fire meme with the dog and the coffee cup?
Oh, God. Dumpster fire is what we need.
This is fine.
Now we're losing. We got coffee cups and dumpster fires.
Yeah. Well, what about North Korea? That was something else on the docket, right? Let's talk about a little bit about North Korea.
North Korea. Wow. It turns out they're infiltrating lots of U.S.-based not even U.S. but companies worldwide with these pools of fake employees.
Have you
just to get information?
Have you seen the pictures of the laptop farms they set up? It's incredible. Yeah. So
basically, the North Korean people are applying for jobs in the U.S. using AI to help pass those interviews, and they might get a laptop or supply their own, and it's in this farm in the U.S. So it looks like it's here.
Yeah, they get people here. They pay people here to just host these laptop farms. Like sometimes it's houses. They'll literally just have dozens of laptops in a house.
That's wild.
Yeah, and then all they do is they remote in. They set up a way for them to remote in. And so the laptop looks like it's in the United States. Yep. I couldn't imagine working like that. Can you imagine how bad the connection would be? If anybody has ever tried to use something across the Pacific for remote access, it's horrible.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. But you know what? They got to do it. They got to do what they got to do. They're using deep fakes to do these interviews. It's kind of wild. But what are they after? That's probably pretty.
They're after for internal access.
Yeah.
How can we set up? How can we infiltrate this environment? Can I launch? Can these guys launch the right tools and set up access and not be caught?
And one of the things that people don't want to talk about or at least I haven't heard too many people talk about it. If you're a company that like unknowingly hires this person, you're at risk of violating the U.S. sanctions against North Korea.
Well, and it's funny you mentioned that because I was looking for pictures of these laptop farms and kind of having trouble of finding anything legitimate enough to share. But Washington News posted an interesting headline, looks like just a week ago. DOJ announces sweeping crackdown on North Koreans working for over 100 U.S. firms. So it sounds like the DOJ is on the hunt for the situation. And I wonder how that affects the firms that didn't know who they hired.
Well, and some of them are Fortune 500.
Mm-hmm.
These are large. Some of these are large companies.
That's why the DOJ is involved. This is not small.
So then it comes down to the question: are these people using fake credentials that people are accepting as U.S. citizenship, or are they assuming other citizens' credentials and using them?
Or is HR not verifying? That's all good questions.
Yeah, how are they passing the I-9 part? It's got to be stolen ID. It's got to be stolen identities.
Well, but I-9, the onus of proving it or verifying it is on the employer. It's on the hirer.
It never gets submitted.
Yep.
The thing is, you're supposed to do that in person, but then you can hire people to do it, right?
Yeah.
So
things can be swept under the rug is all I'm trying to say, you know?
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out, like, so it'd be interesting to see.
I'm curious to see how this plays out.
I haven't
let's talk about North Korea as being so behind the times. Most of the country doesn't have internet. The internet they have is so filtered. They don't know what's going on in the outside world, but they have, been fairly efficient in cyber warfare here, infiltration. So, we lost Chris. Bye, Chris. Been nice chatting with you.
His firewall must have died again.
I'm here.
He's back. I thought Angie. I thought your wife unplugged you for revenge.
No, it's called. Hold on, I'm coughing. I'm trying not to kill everyone on the call.
So this whole thing was, it was initially reported in a Microsoft research thing, and it goes back all the way to 2020 when they started tracking some of this.
It's interesting.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how many of those fail I-9 verifications. They just lie.
Oh, and how close do people really look? I mean, you can use passport, social security card. It's not anything hard to fake when, it's not like you're going into a government facility for verification here. I can't say I'm a pro at spotting a fake license, for instance. Never been a bouncer.
No, they got to have a bunch of stolen identities to do it, right? Even if
I've got a website up. I got the Microsoft document up here, and it's got some screenshots of photos of the remote workers, and they're all variants of the same guy. There's like 40 of them up here, and all the same guy. It's
nice.
And they're setting up, digital profiles for these guys and facilitating it. And
wild.
Time to bring people back to the office.
Oh, that's a hard no, Bob.
So, I think it's a fun conversation to talk about, though. Like there's so many people out there that want people to come back in the office. What I found funny, I saw an article earlier in the week that it was like, or maybe it was last week. It was like Starbucks is having a return to office. What?
I guess the headquarters.
It's corporate. Yeah, it's not. I'm like, it'd be pretty hard to be a barista and be working from home.
Right? How cool would that be, though? Like, are they going to send it on a robot? I'll take a little robot. Bring it.
You're just monitoring the robot, and you're doing it in the robot's doing it. That'd be awesome. That'd be sweet.
Right? That you might be onto a new thing here, Chris.
I mean, they say AI is going to replace a lot of people, but somebody's got to fix the machines when they break. So that goes. Yeah. But no, I think it's interesting that you say the return to office thing. So I'm on the fence about that. I think hybrid's a good use. I mean, especially in our businesses.
Well, I think a lot depends on the organization too. The industry organization. There's so many nuances there. I like hybrid myself. Like look at me today. I'm working from home because there were some deliveries coming and things happen with kids. And Typically, I'm in the office, and meetings are better in the office.
Hold on. Are you saying that your life shouldn't revolve around work 100% of the time?
I might be, and it is nice to unplug once in a while, right?
But
when
there was
I unplug, people are watching my stuff.
There was a time when I was thinking about taking a job downtown Detroit, and then the thing that I thought about was, do I want to every single day be stuck in like an hour and a half to 2.5 hours of traffic every single day of my life?
No, sir.
And how much money is that really worth?
5 hours a week, 20 hours a month minimum. I mean, that's significant.
No, I'm talking. It would have probably been closer to 8 hours a week at least in traffic.
I was thinking one way. I did my math wrong.
Yeah, 8 to 10 hours a week in traffic.
Yeah.
Like, why would somebody want to do that? Like
it's like working an extra week a month.
So designing your business around, and design your business around like around having the ability for people to actually do that. It opens you up to actually having a bigger pool, because you don't just have to hire where you're at. One of the things like during the pandemic that people, at least in IT, kind of embraced was the Midwest is just cheaper labor. If you're trying to hire IT people and you're in California or you're in New York, it's cheaper to hire people in the Midwest.
Yeah. Cost of living is far lower. We're still good workers. It's amazing. But make sure they're not, an AI North Korean.
Make sure they're not running a laptop farm in North Korea. That's a good way to. That's a good segue, and that's a good way to end this.
All right.
So, I have never hired a North Korean IT worker. Have you guys?
I have not. I have not. Most of mine are in person. So, yeah.
I verified my I-9s in person. Even when I heard somebody remote, I flew to the state they were in and verified them.
That's awesome.
So,
especially when you're in security, we're kind of under, some higher standards than the average place.
Yeah. Was that the guy that was working in someplace exotic and you wanted to go visit anyway?
No, I was in Texas. It wasn't exotic.
Any chance this guy worked in Hawaii, I'd go verify too.
Yeah. I heard somebody in Kyrgyzstan? Yeah. I flew there.
Kyrgyzstan?
Yeah.
No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, we're losing it. Till next week, guys.
All right.
Let's bye.